Hey, good Monday morning on this dreary and damp Cinco de Mayo. We're at 5/5/25 today's date. And yeah, unfortunately, probably not going to take that margarita out on the patio for this afternoon or evening as we continue to have this drizzle and this light rainfall across the area. And we've had it pretty much all weekend. I think we're all tired of it. We are going to be transitioning to a drier weather pattern, thankfully, here very soon. So we do have improving conditions after today that we're going to talk a lot about here in just a second. So thanks for hopping on, and thank you for tuning in to our Ben at 10. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here in the Extol Media Studios in Uptown, New Albany, where if we look live out there right now, there you can see there is all the gloom that we have across the area continuing here. That is live at Vinson's and Market in New Albany. The roads are damp. The roads are wet out there. Mostly this is just some very light rainfall that we have across the area, but it certainly is a nuisance. Again, I think we're all over it by now. This upper level low pressure system that got cut off, the old saying is cut off low is the weatherman's woe. So that's what we've had over the area. It can be kind of difficult to forecast as they don't want to move very much, and they just kind of spiral around just periods of some rain, low clouds, and we've been getting in on this north breeze, and that's been keeping our temperatures about 15-20 degrees below normal. We're in the 40s here this morning, so it was back to jackets heading out this morning. So again, we're going to try to make that change towards some nicer and nicer weather, especially as we head towards our Mother's Day weekend. As we get started here, just want to give a shout out to some of our partners in WSB, and they still have an event going on across town through May, benefiting Project Recovery. Any of your bags. So we were talking about this on Extol Unfiltered about an hour ago or so, that they're taking, if it's spring cleaning time, you got a lot of bags in the pantry, plastic bags, paper bags, tote bags, backpacks, duffel bags, lunch bags. You can grab all that and help out Project Recovery. Even if you don't bank with NWSB, you can still be a part of helping them out. Lions Roofing, and if I bring up our page right here, there you can see Lions Roofing. And they're very, very busy, of course, with all of the active weather that we've had across the area. I was chatting with them last night with some weather updates, and probably not a good day, obviously, for some roofing. But you can always give them a call, and you can find out more information if you have any issues with your roof, and you'll see it pop up once again. Another partner of ours, Libs Paving Company, lionsroofingco.com, 812-294-3595. You can find more information right there, obviously, on our webpage, extolmag.com/weather. Next, in a couple of days, we are going to be talking with Brad Weddington. So if you have any building questions or questions around the home, something that needs fixed, it could be gutters, it could be anything, it could be just the dirt work around your house. If you have any questions, we're going to have Wednesdays with Weddington, and we'll be talking to Brad about everything around the home. And of course, weather can be a big impact with anything around the home. And Ivy Tech Sellersburg, and we're going to be possibly doing some live shows out there in Sellersburg at the campus. They've got Tuesdays at the Tech, some events for students and prospective students, future students. We'll get more information from them about all of that and their offerings there at Ivy Tech. And thankfully for us and our family, my daughter's already got 30 plus college credits through Ivy Tech and dual credit courses there. And again, we are going to get into the gloomy conditions that we have across the area here in just a moment. There you can see it, low clouds just lingering across the area. We've got a good morning from Beverly Haggis, ready for no more rain. Amen to that. And we'll eventually say hallelujah to some sunshine returning tomorrow, it looks like. Bill Gleason, good morning to you. Gary and Janet, turn the faucet off. I hear you. We've been stuck in this weather pattern. In fact, I think we have had at least a trace of rain, meaning the rain bucket, the rain gauge has picked up a little bit of rain 9 out of the last 11 days. Now, there's some days in there that were really nice, like last Wednesday when we were out at Churchill Downs. But at some point in the day or night, in that 24-hour period, 9 of the last days have had a report of some rainfall. So a lot of us are over that. Patricia Spriggs, good morning to you. And Vicki watching here again this morning from Salem. Vicki Berger, thanks for tuning in here. We've got a temperature of 51 at Lily and Lasley's house. A lot of areas not even that warm. Again, as we go back to extolmag.com/weather, feel free to play along as well. There's the big interactive radar. Temperatures are hovering in the upper 40s and the lower 50s. And I'll go ahead and bring this one up full screen here for you. And again, free interactive radar. There you can see it's got the temperatures plotted out there and scattered rain showers. Looks like the rain's a little steadier out to the west right now, out towards Patoka Lake and Jasper, Perry County, Indiana. And then sometimes the radar won't even pick up on the drizzly stuff that we have over much of the area. Certainly no lightning or anything like that. And as we expand out our view, we're going to be looking at a couple of upper level low pressure systems. You see lightning out west and to our east, no lightning with the activity that we have across our area. So I'm going to dig deeper into these upper level lows and what they mean, what they're about, and we're going to try to get one out of here very soon with, again, improving weather conditions over the next 24 hours. I think, you know, by later on tonight, we'll start to see these sprinkles tapering off during the overnight hours, and it'll get kind of cool again in the 40s. And we've got Nina Martin, Mother Nature, need to get a checkup. She out of whack. I'll go agree with that. Mother's Day weekend ahead, so Mother Nature hopefully will put Mother Nature into a better mood in the coming days. All right, let's get a look at that forecast, and then we'll look at the radar and satellite. We'll dig into the weather models, and we'll do what we do here on Ben at 10. Thanks for watching, by the way, whether it's on my page. Thanks for the like or the follow so we can get our show out to more folks. Also, Extol Weather will do the replays. Thanks to you. If you're watching the replay, maybe in the afternoon or the evening, feel free to drop in that comment or that question, and I'll try to get you that answer as soon as I can. And then Extol Media on YouTube. Please subscribe there, and you can watch that on the big screen on your wall if you want to on YouTube. All right, so bringing up that forecast here. We have a high of just 59 degrees today. So our average high this time of the year is 75. So we're well below that. So rain and drizzle across the area. It's going to be very, very light, probably less than 1/10 of an inch in most locations. And Kathy, we all agree. I think we all agree. Lordy, this rain, I am over it. I totally agree. South wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So today, a lot like what we had yesterday and Saturday. I guess the one positive thing about this negative weather is that it is holding down the pollen levels for now and heading back to kind of moderate as we get drier with the tree and grass pollen across the area. So perhaps you're not suffering as much from the allergies. Dorothy McDaniel, good morning from Marengo. Thanks for tuning in there. And as we move ahead with our slides, our play ball forecast. Depending on the sport, might be able to get that game in because the rain is going to be so light. So maybe some of the softball and baseball matches or games will be fine, or soccer, but maybe not tennis because the courts will probably be wet. Either way, it is definitely jacket weather with temperatures stuck in the 50s pretty much all day today, giving it like a 40 to 60% chance of on and off sprinkles, drizzle, light rain showers, south wind at around 5 to 10. Sunset today at 8:38, so getting closer to those 9 p.m. sunsets that begin at the end of this month. And by right around the beginning of summertime, that's when we get those latest sunsets, 9, 10, and some of that dusk lasting all the way until 10 p.m. Forecast here for tonight, 48. Few leftover lingering little light rain showers, but tapering off overnight, cloudy and cool, and just a very light wind from the southwest for tonight. And our forecast here for tomorrow, I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen. So our average high and average low, bottom left-hand corner of your screen, 75. Normal low is 55. So we're going to be closer to normal tomorrow, still about 5 degrees below normal, 70 that high temperature for our Tuesday, May 6th. And it looks like it will be dry tomorrow as that rain pulls off to the northeast. And we'll see that trend again with the weather models here in just a moment as we bring up those graphics. And the 7-day forecast, 70 tomorrow. There's a slight chance from an upper level low pressure system out west that could bring in a light rain shower, mainly west of I-65 in Kentucky Wednesday. Most of Wednesday should be dry for us, partly sunny. And then Thursday, a cold front moves through. Couple light rain showers possible with that, 74. Right now, we are looking dry for this weekend, 74 Saturday and sunshine. Mother's Day Sunday, looking at a high of 78 degrees and possibly approaching 80 as we head into next week. Sun up at 6:41 and again sunset at 8:38. So again, improving conditions as we go here day by day. Going to go ahead and bring this one here back up. And again, there's a look at our interactive radar out there right now. And also, as we look at some of the cameras out there, that is the gloomy look that we've had for a while. As we bring up the other camera out there, here's a look at the fallsoftheohio.org webcam, and it's looking just as gloomy over the Falls of the Ohio. I did have noticed like some of the smaller creeks and streams have been on the rise, but the Ohio River should be doing just fine. Not expecting any significant flooding there. In fact, let me go to water.noaa.gov. And we obviously in early April, we looked at this like every day because of the significant flooding. So some of the smaller rivers over parts of southwestern Indiana are a little bit higher, like the East Fork of the White River, but most of the rivers are in good shape. So this is a look at the downtown upper gauge, just going up slightly, so like a few feet above normal pool stage, but definitely well below any official flooding. We're saying well below the actual flood stage, but a few feet above normal thanks to about 1.5 inches of rain that many areas have experienced so far here in the month of May. And again, we've had a report of at least some amount of rainfall 9 out of our last 11 days. So just some gloomy conditions out there. The bird nerd report here, it was a big night of migration, but in the central part of the United States. What I find really interesting about this is somehow the birds know the weather. And they all pack together, it seems like. So where we've had this upper level low pressure system, they've been avoiding that, and they avoid that north breeze. They don't want to fight that breeze. So if you notice as I bring this up full screen, I didn't realize how much this was tied into weather until I started learning more about it over the last month or so. But notice the south breeze coming right off of the Gulf of Mexico. That's where they're tracking and flowing to the north. So they're avoiding all the rain and the system that we have, and the prediction was all the migrating birds out in the middle of the United States, an estimated almost 300 million birds in flight. And that's been 100, 200 million night after night after night after night. So just wild to think about how they do that at nighttime. All right, so we are going to bring up a look at the weather models and the radar and satellite as well. And just looking over at some of the comments here, we've got Vicky Dirk had to switch back on the heat. We did that last night as well. Had to kick on the heat a little bit. It got down to 64 in Vicky's house. It was exactly the same in our house. So we did kick it on to like 68 to 70. Heat in May. Don't you just love that? The weekend and the first half of next week looks so much better. Yeah, yes, no doubt about that, Vicky. So this is the situation that we have across the area now. This is the upper level low pressure system, again, spinning in a counterclockwise motion that low pressure systems do in the northern hemisphere. And then there, if you look closely too, there's another one right here. So it's kind of like a double barrel upper level low pressure system. So I'll just let you look at that. If you just kind of broadly gaze your eyes at it, you can see that slow counterclockwise motion right around both of those areas of low pressure. In the middle, it is dry and quiet, but we continue to have that persistent rain across our area. Zooming in a little bit here closer to our area, that stuck, cut off, upper level low pressure system. Cut off from what? Cut off from the jet stream. So there you can see that the rain continuing across the area. And also, a lot of times the radar won't pick up on just that little bit of drizzle that flies underneath the radar. So the green that you see, some of the steadier rain that we see right now up around Orange County, Paoli, Orleans, and then down south, west down 64 as you head towards Milltown, Leavenworth, Ferdinand. That's when you're running into some steadier rain showers, and then another band of some steadier rain off to the east of Lexington. In the middle, again, just kind of drizzly and gloomy. So what do we need to have happen here? We need this spin that's been here for days to start to scoot off to the northeast. And as we look at the latest data, I think that is what we're going to finally have happen for our area. And just a quick look, I know we've had a lot of active weather this season. I'll pop on the day one severe weather outlook. And the only risks of severe weather, slight risks, well off to our east, eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, in through West Virginia and Virginia. And then another area of a risk of severe weather out in West Texas and southeastern New Mexico. So nothing around here, no severe weather whatsoever, with just the rain that we had for a while here. Good morning, Mom and Grandma. Thanks for watching. And I recently set them up, by the way, with our Extol media on YouTube, so they could bring it up full screen instead of just watching on the phone or the tablet. Something you might want to try out as well. Day 2 severe weather outlook. Nothing for us, as we will be dry tomorrow. Severe weather outlook for tomorrow is down over East Texas, so from West Texas to East Texas. So overall, May can be a big severe weather month. Things are starting off quiet as far as severe weather, just a nagging and nuisance rain that we've been dealing with here for a while now. Let's pull up the weather model data, and we'll get cruising along with some of the high resolution stuff, and we'll look ahead with the GFS weather model, which is going to give us a rain chance, a little bit of a rain chance on Thursday. Should not be a big deal though for us. And we are here looking at the NAM 3 kilometer, which is picking up on some of the light rainfall that we have across the area right now. I'm going to bump this ahead to around noon today. And we're not going to see much change because the area of low pressure is still overhead. So this afternoon is going to be like what we've had over the last couple of days. Scattered rain showers, gloomy, chilly, with high temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees. A good 15 plus degrees below normal for this time of the year. Average high is now 75. Here is at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., still looks the same. I'm going to pop ahead here to around 10, 11 o'clock, see if we see any change. Should be lighter by that time. So what we're seeing here is the upper level low starting to make that move off to the northeast. I'm going to bump this ahead to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So the overnight still might have a little bit of drizzle across the area, but notice we're starting to see that low. So now if I telestrate a little bit, now we have that low up here, getting far enough away that we should be dry tomorrow. If we zoom in closely, if there were a sprinkle at some point tomorrow morning, it looks like that best chance would be up around Madison, Indiana. But hour by hour, that low is moving off to the northeast and pulling the rain out of here. But staying wet just off to the northeast of us. But we should be able to be dry tomorrow. We should be able to break apart the clouds as well. I'm going to move this to tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. And so we are between systems, and we have a little area of high pressure that's going to be built in. So this is a low pressure area up to our northeast. Here's another low pressure area. So we get a dry day tomorrow. And then what's going to happen with this little portion of this upper level low? This might get close enough. We see a light rain shower Wednesday afternoon west of I-65. And we'll take a look at that here as well as we jump ahead with the weather model data. And I want to back up our view here real quick, and I'm going to bring up 500 millibar level. See if we can bring this up. I'm going to back this up to today. Cinco de Mayo, by the way. Anybody got Cinco de Mayo plans? Mom, getting that margarita today? I know Mom's watching. And again, it's kind of an interesting look here. If you're a weather geek, you got this low here, and then there's this low over here. Double barrel low. Doesn't happen very often. Transition season kind of thing. Fall and spring transition seasons. Jet streams lifted north, cuts off these areas of low pressure, and then you can get the weather pattern stuck. It's called an omega block as well, by the way, because it looks like the Greek letter omega block. There's our little weather lesson of the day right there. All right, let's go back to, we'll go back to the NAM 3 kilometer and look at what's called reflectivity, which is like the future radar. Pop that back on. All right, and then we're going to jump ahead to about as far out as this weather model can go. So tomorrow is the 6th. We're dry tomorrow. This will go into Wednesday morning. And okay, so notice that upper level low that's out west starting to get a little closer. As we go to later in the morning time, how far east will that rain get on our Wednesday? So waiting for that model data. So there we go, starting to get a little bit closer. This is going into 1 p.m. Wednesday. Here's 2 p.m. So there you can see a lot of Wednesday is going to be dry for most of us, but that upper level low is starting to sneak a little bit closer from the west. This is different from the upper low that's moving out tonight. This is the one that's basically over the desert southwest right now. And it could get close enough to maybe provide a few sprinkles I-65 west, mainly in Kentucky, maybe sneaking in a little bit of that rain towards Jasper, Indiana, Evansville, Perry County. But you can see that arc from like Vincennes to Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and then west is the best chance. That's kind of the cutoff for our Wednesday rain. Let me bring up the high-resolution GFS weather model. It does not pick up on that rain as well as that high-resolution weather model, but it does have a slight chance of a shower Wednesday. Again, not a big deal with that. I'm going to jump ahead to Thursday. This will be our May 8th. Let me go back to the morning. This is 8 a.m. Thursday. Not much happening on the map. This is 11 o'clock, and then here is 2 p.m. So what we have here Thursday, instead of the upper level low pressure systems that we talked so much about lately, this here, these are not a smiling monster's teeth. This is a cold front, and it might provide enough lift Thursday afternoon to produce a few light rain showers. Not seeing anything really heavy with this. So that will be a little bit of a rain chance. Once that moves south, we get our friend, the big H, high pressure, to move in. High pressure is sinking air, which promotes sunshine and clears out the skies. Low pressure is the opposite. It's light air. It goes up. The air cools and condenses and produces clouds and rain showers. So high pressure is what we want. That's what we want to make moms happy this weekend. Maybe we'll be able to get out and plant some flowers and cut the grass. I barely got the grass cut on Friday before that rain moved in the afternoon. And some of my neighbors did not. I mean, we're talking, and can't blame anybody, but some of that grass is getting like a foot tall with a bunch of weeds in the middle. I mean, it's a mess, and I completely understand. Lisa Cutter saying, ready for that sunshine. And this is one of those times where I think we all agree. We are all ready for that sunshine. Sometimes we disagree about what we want with the weather. Sometimes we want rain for crops. Sometimes we just want sunshine, but we've had enough rain for now. We need to help get the farmers out in those fields and dry out those fields so we can actually plant out there. So that is our Thursday. And as we add up all of the rainfall, which is not much for the rest of this week, that is the good thing here. Even though we might have a few nuisance showers west of 65 Wednesday, a couple showers around Thursday, this is the total amount of rainfall. I'm going to put this all the way out into this weekend. And as we try to plot some of this out here, notice it is very, very low. We're talking maybe like 2/10 of an inch of rainfall from now, today, through that slight chance Wednesday and Thursday. We're looking dry so far in that forecast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, and Lisa says, got the grass cut too. The grass does look good. I mean, it is nice and green. It is very, very lush out there, and the forest is looking good. The bugs are weird this year. Maybe it's it's normal, but I've seen more mayflies than I've ever seen, carpenter ants than I've ever seen. We've had a whole lot of ticks. You thought after a pretty hardy winter that things would be a little bit better with the bugs, but I am not buying that theory anymore, that a cold winter will reduce the bugs, because it certainly has not. Bring up another scene here. I haven't checked out this in a while. This is the Climate Prediction Center, and it's showing the next 6 to 10 days or so. We're kind of on the edge of kind of generally below normal temperatures, which we will be for the next couple of days. But we should get back to those mid to upper 70s this weekend, and then above normal temperatures up to the northwest. And then as we bring up, let me see here, that's 6 to 10. As we look out past that, that's showing that trend of above average chance of warmer than normal temperatures as we head towards mid and late May. So eventually we'll get there. We just got to get through a crappy Monday. Can I just say that? That's what we have out there. And that's what we've had for the last several days as well. All right, here is the radar and satellite again with scattered showers. You can see that counterclockwise motion there. And we can cut to a look at it live in New Albany, Indiana. So we are right here at Vincennes and Market in the Extol Media Studios. And there you can see that it's just all dampness. When the concrete, it blends into the sky, it is not looking good out there. Lisa popping back in. Ticks are so bad, watch your pups. Yeah, I took off Annie, our border collie. She's the one that seems to pick them up the most. Maybe because she's got white paws. I don't know. I probably took about 6 off of her a couple days ago. 1 off Desi and 1 off Skeeter. We've got 3 dogs. So, and we keep forgetting to get them the meds. From Cross Creek House Call up there in the Knobs is where we go typically. All right, let's bring back up the forecast here. As we are at 10:30 on this, Ben at 10 on this Monday, Cinco de Mayo. We celebrated yesterday Cinco de Mayo at Puerto Vallarta. A lot of times we'll go to El Nopal, but we switched it up a little bit and ate myself silly yesterday evening. All right, so we'll bring back up that forecast here in, let me switch this out, remove that. There we go. So that forecast today, rain and drizzle, cloudy and cool, south winds around 5 to 10, so not much of a breeze out there. We'll try to get it to 59 degrees. Sunsets at 8:38. The one kind of good thing that this rain does, holds down the pollen for now. Once we dry out, that pollen starts to spread once again. So maybe a little relief with that rain that's out there. Depending on the sport, plan on the same kind of good conditions out there. Maybe a few less showers as we start to finally see this area of low pressure move off to the northeast, but still gray, gloomy, dreary, dismal stuff for this afternoon. I don't think it's enough rain to really, if there's some tarps on the softball fields, baseball fields might actually be in decent shape with those games later on this evening. Sunset, as I mentioned, 8:38, and getting into those 9 p.m. sunsets by the end of this month and through the month of June. 48, that low for tonight, so might need some of the furnaces kicking on like ours did yesterday. So might need to switch it over from cool to the heat as some of our living rooms might be cooling down to the lower 60s with this chilly air that's out there. So a few showers, but overnight we'll start to trend drier and drier as that low lifts off to the northeast. And our tomorrow's forecast, I should say, 50 in the morning out the door, 62 at noon, and then 70 tomorrow afternoon. We should see a break in the clouds, finally seeing some of that sunshine. Normal high is 75, so we're going to be about 5 degrees below normal for tomorrow, 75 on Wednesday. That 20% chance of a sprinkle is mainly west of I-65 Wednesday, so most of us will stay dry. And then I'm giving it about a 30% chance of a light rain shower Thursday afternoon as a cold front moves through. That'll just drop us off a little bit Friday, upper 60s to around 70 degrees, 5 or so degrees below normal. Some cooler nights there, Thursday night, Friday night in the upper 40s, and then sunshine 74 for Saturday. So right now, looking fantastic for our Mother's Day weekend. Looks like some marvelous Mother's Day weekend weather. Up to 78 right now is the going forecast for Sunday, and Monday, 80 degrees. We don't want Mother Nature to throw us a wrench, though. Like last week around this time, we were like, it looks like it's going to clear out for Derby and Oaks, and it looked great. And then day by day, we're like, oh, this upper level low is starting to set up. And once those set up, they don't like to move. So we were hoping the GFS weather model, that optimistic weather model, we clear out for last weekend, Derby weekend. Unfortunately, the pessimistic European weather model was the correct weather model. If you're looking back and you're scoring it, give that one to the European weather model. So far, both weather models, the European and the GFS weather model, are calling for dry conditions Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and dry weather for tomorrow as well. All right, that will probably pretty much wrap it up here for our Monday, Ben at 10. Just a quick another shout out to our partners in WSB. By the way, they have a benefit here that you can help out in any NWSB location. Spring cleaning, grab those bags, plastic bags, paper bags, tote bags, backpacks, duffel bags, lunch bags, all the bags, and that'll help out project recovery. Obviously, you don't need to be a member of NWSB. If you want to help out, just head to one of their locations and you can help out with that project. Lions Roofing bothered DJ today. I know can't do a whole lot of roofing work when it's raining. Give them a call there, and they can help you out with any of your roofing needs. It looks like this Wednesday, we're going to bring up Weddington Custom Homes, Brad Weddington, for any questions you might have around the house. It could be anything, and he will help you out. He built my house almost 11 years ago. I learned so much from that guy about again, any project around the house, trim work, gutter work, roof, flooring, dirt work around the house. Feel free to ask any question. Of course, weather is often involved in a lot of stuff around the house. And then Ivy Tech Sellersburg. Again, my daughter's already got a bunch of college credits, thankfully, through Borden High School in partnership with Ivy Tech and Prosser. So definitely check out Ivy Tech. If you have a high school student, might be able to get a big head start in college. And we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks, Tuesdays at the Tech. and learn more about Ivy Tech Sellersburg and their offerings to current and future students. So thank you all for watching. We'll end it right about there. Let's get through a gloomy Monday. We'll have better news in that forecast starting tomorrow. It looks like we may have had a comment pop up here. And the last one here from Orlean Whitlow. Good morning, Ben. Hope the rain stops soon. That should be tomorrow. And we'll stop it right here. Thanks again for watching on my Facebook page. Extol Weather. We'll have the replays. Thanks for watching. If you're watching that replay this afternoon and evening, feel free to drop in that question, even if it's a replay. We'll check it out. Extol Media on YouTube. We've got a playlist there with all the Ben at 10 lives. Again, let's get through it, and we'll talk about better stuff tomorrow. Have a great Monday.